Hello and welcome to your stable friend. It's been a rough week out there in the social media trenches, in this war that I feel sometimes like I'm single-handedly waging against brutality, both mentally, emotionally, and physically, and spiritually and psychically against horses. And I thought, this might be a really good time to put a little support out there for others that advocate. Whether you're advocating for animals, whether you're advocating for the environment, whether you're advocating for a marginalized community. Being an advocate, you come up against some craziness, some absolute craziness. My husband always says to me, after literally getting pummeled for standing up for a horse on some post, some horse that's been clearly is being mistreated, and the majority of people think so. There's always going to be that sector that does that wants to protect that or defend it or justify it for their own sanity. They need to make it that it's okay, so they're going to say whatever they can say, and this is coming from a very defensive place. Like, oh no, I do that. I can't possibly be wrong. So there has to be something wrong with this person who's calling it out. I want to help you if you are out there advocating. I want to support you and I want to explain a few things to you. There are different tactics that people will use to silence you. One of them is calling you a bully. Nobody wants to be called a bully. Bullying's been, trending now for a few years now. The act of bullying and being anti-bully and having no tolerance for bullying. But let's talk about what that really means. That doesn't mean that you can't state an opinion that is clearly the truth. For instance, that horse is tied too tight and too short. When a horse's head is cranked up like this and the lead rope is this long and they're tied to a wall, and 90% of the people can see that and agree to it, there are those 10% that will now start calling you a bully. Ignore it. Just ignore it. When you know that you are doing the right thing, which is speaking up for a horse that is being mistreated, speaking up for anybody that is being marginalized or mistreated or cannot speak for themselves or has trouble speaking for themselves, don't be afraid of that name calling. And realize, here you go, this is a good tip, realize that if they are calling you a bully, you are getting under their skin. And when you get under their skin, you can then plant a seed. People are always telling me, oh, you'll never teach anybody that way. Because I now tend, my style has morphed over the years. I've been doing this for a decade now, and my style has really morphed. And now I believe that I'm somewhere between tough love and scared straight. It's like I'm a very I'm not holding back. I'm going to tell you what's what, and I'm going to tell you it in a tone that you might not like. Because you know why? Because it gets people's attention. It gets people talking. Now, sometimes they forget what they're talking about and then they just want to fight. So you always have to steer it back to what the whole reason was that you brought this up in the first place. The horse's head was tied straight up and the lead rope was this short. You always have to steer it back there when someone's calling you the bully, not the person who tied their horse's head like this. When they're calling you the bully, you have to remember this is now, I know you are, but what am I? Or sticks and stones, or, I'm gonna try to hurt you with my words because you hurt me with your words. Look, my words are hurting you because you obviously know somewhere deep down inside that there is truth to them. If there wasn't, it wouldn't bother you. You'd go, oh, that person's crazy, and you'd scroll past. When you engage with the person who you are trying to say is a bully, or you're crazy, or you're overreacting, if they choose to engage with you, that means that you have struck a chord and that you've hit a nerve. And if you've done that, keep them on the line for a little while and engage back with them, because there are thousands of other people on social media reading these posts that will learn something from what you are saying. So do not be afraid when you get into altercations like this on social media. Realize it's not about you and that one other person who tied their horse like this. It's about the thousands of other people that are going to now watch and see and learn something. You are getting through to somebody, believe you me, no matter what your tone is. And sometimes people need, unfortunately, it's sad, but it's true, they need a circus act. They need a 3-ring circus, like when people do the little meme where you're eating popcorn. Yeah, that's what they want. They want to sit on their board on a Saturday, they've got nothing to do, and they want to sit there with their virtual popcorn seeing some sort of a crazy exchange on the internet. That's what they want to do. So give it to them. Give it to them, but make sure that you don't lose the point and that you keep educating as you're doing it. Keep bringing it back to the short lead rope. Keep bringing it back to the horse's head is like this, and his poor neck, and his poor pole, and his poor back, and the embarrassment that he must be suffering, that he is having to stand like this. Okay, so I believe you understand what I'm saying. When you create a little bit of a fire, I'm a fire starter, I'm proud of it. Why am I proud of it? Because I'm doing it for a good cause. And no, you don't always catch more flies with honey. Usually you catch flies with the stinkiest, grossest, most horrible thing you can find like around the barn to stick into the fly catcher. You don't catch more with honey. It's absolutely not true. You catch them with something, you know, that's attractive, and usually something that's stinky is attractive. So that's a sad but true thing about humans. They want to, you know, they want to chase an ambulance, they want to watch a train wreck. So you have to take that into account and give them what they want, as long as you do not lose sight of what you are trying to teach them. And make sure that teaching is always behind what you're doing. No matter how much of a crazy spectacle it becomes, you keep driving that point home. You're going to get across to somebody. You're not going to get across to everybody. You're certainly not going to get across to the ones that are being overly defensive. Not yet, but you will. You are planting the seed. And believe me, in the 10 years that I've been doing this on social media, I have seen tremendous change. It's still not enough for the horses to enjoy it on a large scale, but it's changing. It is changing. And we need every voice to change it. You can be the sugar voice, you can be the salt voice, you can be somewhere in between, but advocacy needs an entire spectrum of voices. As long as we all have the same talking points, we should all be hitting a different audience with our talking points to finally be able to reach everybody. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe, like, do all the YouTube stuff, and find us on Facebook, and join us next time we're having one of those rousing conversations on the internet. Have a great day.